Can you imagine having one phone call for less than an hour and walking out with 3 or more deals, each of which would pay you $10,000 or more? Well, when you're a full spectrum real estate investor, that's exactly the kind of thing that you can do. But you don't have to take my word for it. You're going to get to listen to it live.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass, and I'm all out of bubblegum.
This is the Virtual Real Estate Investor Podcast with Vincent Polisi. Buckle your seatbelt and prepare to learn how to legally make 6 figures investing in real estate with no money, no credit check, and nothing but a computer and internet connection. Learn how you too can begin generating buyers and sellers for free today, and why you're only 2 calls away from making a $10,000 or more payday while never leaving the comfort of your home. And now, your host, the virtual real estate investor, Vincent Polisi.
All right, guys, here we go. You've heard me harp on this before, and that subject I harp on all the time is being the one-trick pony that buys one of these courses and strictly handles one type of real estate deal versus seeing the deal and examining the way to create win-win structures for all parties, regardless of the deal type. As you advance in your education in real estate investing, you'll be able to begin doing things exactly like that, where you can analyze the situation and determine the best possible path to maximize not only your income, your cash flow, minimize taxation, but also to maximize the benefit that you can provide to the other parties that are in the deal. You've got to be able to do that, and you have to be moving forward in that direction versus strictly doing lease options or owner finance or cash flow rentals or whatever. You need to be analyzing every single transaction and not trying to put it into, a singular whole. And unfortunately, that's what most people end up doing. What you're going to get to hear in this call is an actual call I did with one of my joint venture partners. And I don't do a lot of traditional pitch fest in the podcast, but let me go ahead and explain to some of you guys what that is, because I'm getting a lot of inquiries for it presently. The Joint Venture Partner Program is a program that is designed to take people that want to get into real estate investing full-time to create their own 6-figure plus income streams in real estate investing, that want to become self-employed and leave their slave jobs. And the way it's designed and set up is not only from an educational component and coursework that we have on the website, but what it also does is it also enables you to earn while you learn as you're plugged into a live and operating business, my business, working side by side with me, step by step, all the way through the entire process, so that you can see how a deal gets done. You generate the leads, you get the leads pre-qualified, and then what happens is I step in and I actually will close the leads out with you live on the phone, and you get to hear exactly how everything goes down. And you do that enough times up until the point in time that you're comfortable doing it on your own, and you leave the nest, and now you have your own functional operating real estate investment business. There's a lot more that goes into the Joint Venture Partner Program, because I provide all the stuff for, completely built out websites, so you can start generating your own buyer leads and seller leads on your own lead capture systems on your own websites. You can start putting up your own inventory immediately. But while you're first starting, one of the most important things to do is to have as much liability protection as possible. And that's what a lot of these guru crew fraud squad guys don't do, is they want to sell you a course and they want to arm you with some matches and some gasoline. And it's just a recipe for disaster, because you don't know what to watch out for. In many cases, you don't even have an LLC or corporation to help shield you from any type of liability. I don't do it that way. When people first come in and they want to work my system to do it the way that I do it, I get them set up in such a way that they're working with me as an actual bona fide joint venture partner with an executed joint venture partner agreement. And then when contracts go out on properties or with buyers, or depending on what the deal type is, they go out in my name and in my company name, so that there's shielding for the joint venture partner as they're learning, because they don't know what all the bugaboos are to watch out for. So it provides a greater level of protection for someone when they're first starting out, as opposed to letting them go out there half-cocked with, in many cases, for a lot of these guys, totally incorrect information, but let's assume the information was correct. They still are going out, they don't know what to watch out for. So I do it completely differently, because I think it's irresponsible at best to provide somebody a course and then say, hey, go out there and put your name on the dotted line on a contract, and go out there and put your name in advertising and marketing saying you're doing something some way, without them having a full understanding of exactly how the entire system works start to finish and what their liability actually is. So at any rate, the way that program works, and all the information is on the website, it's $1,000 a month, but the $1,000 gets waived after the initial payment, as long as you do a deal, and there's joint venture income for me off of that, obviously. We're going to split that 50-50. If it's just the two of us, or 33-33 if there's three parties involved. Sometimes there will be another joint venture partner involved. If, for example, you have a house and he has a buyer or assignee or vice versa. And so it's the additional $1,000 a month gets waived for every month that you actually do a deal, because obviously I'd rather have you doing deals and making money, and me making more money through the joint venture approach than I would for collecting the $1,000. But there has to be that pain point out there to keep people focused, because most people, when they enter into these courses and do all this stuff, they're never going to become successful. It's the next bright, shiny object syndrome. They want to go out there and see what somebody else is doing. And then in many cases, they'll not focus, fail to implement. And when it's not easy like they thought it was going to be, because you actually have to get educated and do some work and follow instructions, three things that are very difficult for most people, then they throw in the towel on that particular methodology and move on to the next bright, shiny object. You'll see this time and time and time again if you're on any type of social media for real estate investment groups. But anyway, that's how that program works. So it's $1,000 up front, and then it's $1,000 a month to create an intentional pain point so people stay focused, because they don't want to pay the $1,000 the next month. And I don't want them to pay the $1,000 the next month. I want them to do some deals and get some experience and make some money. It's better for everybody. That's the win-win. What you'll find, though, like I said, is if you don't do it that way, people will not remain focused, and they will get sidetracked with all the noise from Facebook and everything else and all these other things they're doing every single day. And so I've got everything mapped out. So this is exactly what you have to do. And we're actually getting it built out in Podio right now, step by step, with task management on exactly how to take a deal through the entire process, start to finish, with exactly what you need to do, with reminders on a daily basis of the prospecting that you need to do, your ad work, everything, so that you don't even have to think about it. It just becomes a finely tuned automated machine that you can plug directly into. But you're going to hear in this call, this is one of the joint venture partners brought in a lead, and you're going to hear how this lead turns into not just one deal, but 3 or more deals from one phone call. It doesn't get any better than that. So enjoy.
Hey, what's up, investors? John Lee Dumas here, founder and host of Entrepreneur on Fire, awarded Best of iTunes 2013, and you're listening to the Virtual Real Estate Investor Podcast with my man, Vincent Polisi. Prepare to ignite.
And now, without further delay, it's unquestionably everyone's favorite segment of the Virtual Real Estate Investor Podcast with Vincent Polisi. It's time for an extra large dose of total transparency, as you listen to Vincent live and in the trenches dodging bullets and grenades, while he's closing real buyers and sellers over the phone.
Hi, this is Todd.
Hey, Todd, it's Vincent.
Hi, Vincent. Thank you, sir. I was trying to wait, but he actually called me back, which was kind of cool. He was on a break.
Is he there?
No, he's not. I said we'd call him back. I didn't know if you just replied after we hung up.
Okay. What's the number?
It is 740. He works in Ohio, but his property's in North Carolina. And this is Art Brandt. This is the
Gotcha.
He's got a few properties and wants to buy a property. This is what we talked about
on Lake Norman.
Spring Blossom Lane, Cornelius.
Cornelius, yeah. Okay.
You thought he might need cash for a down payment offset.
This isn't the mobile home guy, right?
No, that's different.
Oh, sorry.
That's a different one.
Hi, Art.
Yes, hello.
Hi, this is Vincent and Todd. You just hung up with him a few minutes ago.
Yes.
Did we catch you at a good time?
Yeah, I'm going back to a place so I can sit down right now.
Okay. All right. I don't want to take up too much of your time, if I understand correctly, you're at work. So let me burn through this real quick and see if my understanding is correct, and then I can sort of explain some options that may help you here. So if I understand correctly, you've got a house that's free and clear in Daytona Beach somewhere. Is that accurate?
Yeah, I got one free and clear in Daytona.
Okay.
I got a lot of equity in one here in Charlotte and some equity in another one in Birmingham. And I'm just trying to end up getting something here in something smaller in the Charlotte area that's basically call it paid for. I don't care if someone else is making the payment for me or if it's already paid for.
Okay. And that's, you said, in the Charlotte area, or?
Yeah. Charlotte. I mean, I'm in Cornelius now. Cornelius, Huntersville, Morrisville, where I'm trying to be.
Okay. Do you need to be on the lake?
I'd like to be, but I don't think for my price range I'm going to be on the lake.
All right. The property in Daytona, the one in Cornelius, and the one in Birmingham, are they presently occupied, or are they all vacant?
The one in Daytona is vacant and paid for.
Right.
As I said, it was my primary residence because of the Florida tax, but then the new job I got in Charlotte required me to use the Charlotte address, so it's just pretty much nothing right now.
Okay.
Still got some furniture in it, just haven't been down there once in a year.
Okay.
The one in Birmingham, I have a mortgage on it, and I have a pre-closing occupancy where they gave me some money down to make my mortgage payment every month. My agreement with them is they can pay the payment as long as they want. $250 every month goes towards their principal. Although I only have a 15-year mortgage, so actually about $1,000 a month goes towards my principal. So every month they stay there, I gain more equity in the house.
And you're applying that towards the principal.
Right. So what they're doing is basically my payment's like $1,820 something a month to Wells Fargo. They pay $1,800 a month, so I lose a whopping $20 a month. But they only get they're off of their principal and me. They bought the house for me for $250,000.
Okay.
They gave me $25,000 earnest money up front.
Okay.
And then they're paying out of the $1,800 a month, they get $250 per month off their equity. So basically, in a year, they get $3,000, off of the principal, their loan.
Gotcha. Right.
However, my loan being a 15-year loan with only it's a very good interest rates, like 2% or something crazy. So my loan out of that money, $1,800 a month, I think almost, probably anywhere from $1,000 to $1,200 is going to principal every month.
All right, I gotcha. Okay.
So what happens? It gets paid off faster than what they're being paid off to me.
Gotcha. Okay. And then what's the term of their contract with you on that, or is there one?
Come about in Birmingham.
Yeah, is it a 30-year amortization, or what is it?
Actually, there's no amortization. They just get $250 a month equity on the $25,000 they owe me. So basically, they got to go about 100 years to pay the house.
You need to come work for me, man.
I get real creative.
It's a great deal. I don't know what business you're in, but you're in the wrong business, man.
Hey, honestly, I'd love to get creative on deals. I'm trying to get creative on my own, but trust me, I'm an IT guy, but I've been wheeling and dealing for years. That's all I can say.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. That's for sure.
Hey, when people, the lady was getting a divorce, she just half of her husband's 401k, and she liked my house.
Perfect.
So I went there.
It's the definition of a good deal. It's a good deal for everybody. Yeah. Yeah, can't beat that one.
If she casts it out early, she saves a bunch of money. If she goes, if she chooses to go the whole 100 years, then hey, somebody will collect it.
Wow. Yeah. Now, what is she in? Is she in a lease, or is she in a contract for deed or land contract, or what is it?
She is, because I have a mortgage on it. It's considered a pre-closing occupancy. We have a contract through a realtor that says she gave me earnest money up front. And she pays me $1,800 a month until she closes.
So it's a lease option or a lease purchase, I guess.
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah. We just wrote it up pre-closing occupancy. I mean, we had the house listed for one day.
Yeah, that's great.
Found her and we did it.
Got it. You got the $25,000. It's not sitting in some stupid brokerage account, is it, for a realtor?
No, the broker got $15,000. I paid him off because he wanted to put a lock at 2 years, and I wanted to let it keep going. So I just went ahead and gave him the $15,000 to get him out of the deal.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, because they don't know what they're doing, and what they generally want to do is they want to hold on in their brokerage account for any earnest money or anything like that. And I just always tell them to go straight to hell. That no, there's no reason for that.
Yeah.
They go out of business and the money's gone.
I bought them out. I took my 10 grand, they got their 15, and then, I don't make any money until closing, and, again, I don't care how many years it takes them.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, that's a great deal. Great deal. Okay. All right. So you're already contracted on that one, so there's nothing really that can be done there. The only thing here's what you could do on that property, just so you understand. There's two things really, if I'm looking at this as an investor, that could be done. One is based on your equity position. Obviously, you could always refinance and cash out on that one to a certain loan to value, and stretch the amortization back out to 30 years and lower the payment. So that would get you cash in hand and additional cash flow on a monthly basis. And quite frankly, that's probably what I would do, strictly because I don't want equity in houses ever, for a lot of reasons.
I can just tell you, I'm going through a divorce. I basically took myself. I used to be a contractor in the field. I now work a salary job, so I don't make the money I used to make. Mm-hmm. Plus, I got dinged with the alimony child support ding that was bigger than I thought. In fact, I'm losing a fourth house in the deal. I got one in Michigan that people were buying off me for $1,000 a month for 30 years. So I have to give her that house free and clear with people in it.
Gotcha. But
because of all that, I've got my house here that I bought last year. That basically, Zillow says it's worth $400 grand. I owe about $240 on. And
but you need another house, is what I understand, in Charlotte.
I obviously need a place to live myself. So what I'm trying to do is take my equity in this house, if possible. The Daytona house. You can sell anything in Birmingham, great, whatever, and pretty much put myself in a house without a house payment. What I'm trying to do.
Gotcha. All right. Well, here's how to do that. Let me explain to you a couple different ways that can be done. First and foremost, obviously, if you can sell any of these outright for cash, that's obviously the smart play. Unfortunately, what's happening right now in most markets is that sellers are not really able to do that at any type of retail. They're having to discount down to compete with the banks on their short sale or foreclosure pricing. So it becomes very challenging if you're trying to hold any type of margin on a deal to get anything close to what it's actually worth, because you don't have the ability to, I guess you do if it's free and clear, but, banks don't have any kind of financial loss on a foreclosure or short sale. People think they do, but they don't understand how it actually works. It's all paper. It's not an actual real funds that they're losing. So if you can sell them outright for cash, obviously that's the way to go. If not, then what we can do is we can put, buyers similar to what you've done on this thing in Birmingham in all of these properties, and help you get another property the exact same way, so you don't have to go through the traditional mortgage rigmarole, and secure another house for you in Charlotte on Lake Norman if that's where you want to be. And basically what happens then is, if it's done correctly, then you're cash flowing off the other houses, and that pays for the mortgage on the new property in Charlotte.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. That's how you do it.
So you guys would be brokering the deal. I'm sure you got your money to make it in the middle. But ultimately, if I'm looking for something near Lake Norman, like I said, I'm looking at probably around a $200,000 to $300,000 house. I don't think that's going to put me on the lake, but near the lake, trying to stay in the schools I'm in now. My current property, or Mooresville City Schools, putting me in the city of Mooresville. Something that's going to be adequate. There's basically 6 to 7 of us living in the house, but I know I'm not going to get the 4,000 square feet I've got now. But I'm just, if I have more efficient use of space, then that's all I'm trying to do.
Yeah, I wish you'd called me last year. I had a perfect house in Mooresville. It's actually totally rehabbed and all brand new on the inside, and granite and stainless and the whole 9 yards. Okay, so what's the problem with the house you have in Cornelius now? It's vacant. It's vacant, or somebody's in it?
The Cornelius is where I'm living now.
That's where you live. Okay, and
that's the current house with the kids. Everybody, we're all here in Cornelius.
But you have to get out of that because of the divorce.
No, actually, in fact, she signed. There's a lot of funny stories there, but she signed off her dower rights last June, July, right before I bought it. She doesn't know she signed them off, but she did.
Okay.
So realistically, that one is, that's the one I got the most equity in, and as soon as I have a place to go, I can move out. It might need a little bit of cleanup before somebody moved in, or hey, if somebody's taking it as is for a little bit of sweat equity, I'm sure they'd love it.
Okay. And the value of that home is approximately what?
According to Zillow, it's $400,000.
Okay.
And I mean, I'll be honest, it's under equity. I paid $240 for it last year.
Okay, why are you moving out of it?
Mainly, I mean, as I said, I'm not based on my income cuts and where I am. I need to get rid of my house payment, so I'm trying to, love the house. I mean, it's exactly what I want. I mean,
how much is the house payment?
16, I think it's like 1660, something like that.
And what do you think you're going to get for between $200,000 and $300,000 is going to be less than that?
Right, but if I've got somebody, that's what I'm paying. If I've got somebody in the house off me for $400,000 on payment, rent to own, lease option, whatever, and they're paying, let's say I find the house between that house and Florida house, if I can bring in between them both the extra $2,000 a month, and buy my other house $2,000 a month, I'm just living on a wash, whatever.
Yeah, right. No, yep, okay. What's the value of the house in Daytona?
Zillow says 65, and I can tag the 100. It is what it is.
Wait, is it a condo or something, or is it a house?
It is a 2-bedroom, 900 square foot, one-car garage house in Holly Hill. So if you go to the Daytona area, it's not beachside, it's on the mainland, but it's about 5 minutes to the beach, 10 minutes to the track.
Gotcha. Okay.
Kind of at the edge of the hood.
Okay.
I bought the house to use 3 to 4 times a year, like Grace Week, and whenever I felt like getting away from Ohio when I lived in Ohio.
So what do you think that's going to rent for? Like $500 or $600 a month, or what?
If it's a regular monthly rental, I mean, if we're lucky, just renting it, probably 6 or 7. I thought about making a vacation rental, but then I got to figure out how to manage it with nobody down there. Because I do have enough furniture and things like that. Bike week, it's probably $1,000, $1,500 a week house. For the races, I can probably get a few thousand out of it for the month. But then, rest of the year, I don't want people that are going to tear it up. So who would I put in there for spring break? Stuff like that,
Yeah. That's spring. They turn a tough market.
I did renovate it and made it very nice. I made it overly nice. On the outside, it looks just like the rest of the neighborhood. On the inside, it's actually, new ceramic tile and textured paint and textured ceilings and, brand new kitchen, stainless steel appliances, all out on the inside. So it's just like having a condo inside. Outside, I got no HOA park, whatever I want in the back, and hide my nice stuff in the garage and come down when I felt like it.
Yeah, sounds nice.
I use as my income base, that's where I said I live, because I travel all over the country for work anyway, and then I got the no state tax of Florida advantage, and that more than paid for the house, as far as I was concerned.
Sure.
So I was saving $1,000 a month in state taxes.
Yeah, for sure. Okay.
So, I can't get that in rent, but again, if I sell it with, owner financing, maybe I could. Just a matter
so
of I would be want to pay it.
So the property in Cornelius right now, you're saying is worth $450.
$400,000, and that's just because in the last year, a lot of things have gone up there, and from the building they're doing. I am 5 minutes from Lake Norman over there.
Okay. All right. So the deal then would be, I don't think you want a vacation rental in Daytona Beach, especially being an absentee landlord, strictly because. I mean, if you live there, if you've been in Daytona, at certain times, it's a tough crowd that goes there, and they like to party and they like to tear stuff.
That's why it's empty right now.
Yeah, tear stuff up. So, probably I think what the play would be to. But you said it's fully furnished right now.
Yeah, it's furnished. I just sold a house in Ohio, and like I said, if you want a comical story someday, I'll tell you about how I sent the wife to Daytona as a place to stay, and then she took off and ran back to Michigan while I was in the process of doing a divorce and filed before me. But we left some of the furniture from Ohio that we didn't care about down there, so we got it, adequately furnished. It's not bad.
Yeah. Okay. All right. No problem. All right. So then, basically, we sell the property in Daytona on contract to somebody that wants to buy it. Somebody. Sounds like it's probably going to be a single woman or something like that wants to be a block or two from the beach.
It's a little more than that. It's not walking distance. It's a 5-minute drive to these.
Okay, well,
Not walking to these.
Gotcha. Okay, so 5 minutes, and then obviously we should be able to fairly easily sell the property that you're in now, and you cash flow off that one. Obviously, you're going to cash flow off Daytona, and the two of those should easily support what you need for the new house, and we can help you get the new house also.
Right, and then is like I put money down on the new house. I just want to get enough money on the other two, and ultimately I like to get enough money down that if they skip on me, they've got something to lose, and I've got something to gain by having to throw them out and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, well, I handle all that. So I mean, the down payment is where our funds come from on these transactions, so that there's no back end equity or upfront cost to you. But we indemnify against defaulted payments, and there's an insurance policy in place against any kind of damage. So you don't have to worry about somebody going in there and tearing the place apart and not making payments and taking off and you having to go upside down.
Yes. All of which I know I'd be, basically just like I'm going to be doing the same thing they're doing. I just like to think I'm a little lower risk since I've been putting up houses paid for, et cetera, behind me. But,
yeah, no, I understand. Sure. Okay. So yeah, I mean, I think that's it. And how much equity do you think you have in Birmingham?
Well, I owe $207 and the house is worth $250.
Okay.
Now she gave me $25, up front. So, if you look at that, obviously I've only got the difference, of what is that, 10, 15, about 17,000. But then, with her, I've also got that 25,000 equity if she ever skips.
Okay.
And every month she stays, I got another $1,000 equity.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, because you're almost at 80% on that one. And you sold it to her for $250, but her net right now is $225 minus the $250 a month.
She's been there. What was it? I don't know if it was last year or 2 years ago. October of 12. So whatever that comes out to, about 20 months.
Okay.
So 16, 17 months. So yeah, it's probably 17 months. I got 17,000 equity. So that's probably about right.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, the answer is, I mean, if you're looking for help, I mean, we can, sell the property in Daytona, sell the one you're in now, and, help you get into something else without the traditional bank hassles that's right there in Cornelius as well.
Well, my credit went down the toilet with, with all the new stuff that went on. So that I can't go to a bank anyway. That's part of why I'm doing all this.
Yeah, that's fine. The program I run is no credit qualifying anyway, so you don't have to worry about all that. But there's your solution if that's what you're looking for. I mean, that's
exactly what I'm looking for. If it's a matter of what you guys have in this area that I can move into, figuring out how can I move and get people in the mind, simultaneously trying to get as little money out of pocket as possible, because there isn't much to put out of pocket.
Well, basically what we would do is we just set you up with our home finder program, and probably have to fund that out of what we're getting from these other two houses when people move in there, so you don't have to come up with anything out of pocket at that point.
Right. As I said, that's my goal in the end is not to have a house payment, and I'm still going through the divorce until it's final. I can't go and make a bunch of money, or I'm going to earn much more money. So I'm just working one job, except about a year from now, once all this is done, and I start doing some of the other things I do, and I'll probably be out of the hole within a year or so from that. And I'd love to have my own house back. So if it's somebody that's not long term, fine. If it is a long termer, I don't care. I'll get my next house on the lake.
Okay. All right. Well, if that's where you want to go, then here's what we need to do. I'll have Todd get the property address information. We need the sales prices on both properties. Need the monthly payments that are necessary to cover everything on both properties. And then we'll send you a non-exclusive option agreement. It'll come via email. You can just accept the agreement, and it'll basically identify what we just talked about, purchase price, monthly payments that are expected, et cetera. And once we have that, if we can get the interior and exterior photographs, we can blast it out to the buyers list that I've already got and see if I've already got somebody on the hook. And Charlotte's a hot market right now. especially where you're out up there by the lake.
My house here, I got the good pictures up on Zillow. They're actually the pictures from when I bought the house. It's a little nicer now. It had a frog pond out back. I mean, it was a pool, but it turned into a frog pond when I bought it. I actually got the pool working. Did some cleanup on the house, but basically I ran out of money and kind of stopped. So,
sure.
So I am. It is a little bit of a fix it upper. It's that's kind of the hope is somebody's going to put a little bit of sweat into it as well. So I don't have to spend the money to try to make it really nice.
Okay. What's the address of the house there?
I'm in Cornelius. It's 191 Lane.
Okay.
Zip to 280.
And then Daytona?
430 Street.
Okay.
32117.
That's Daytona.
Really in Holly Hill. Well, it's really Holly Hill, but they call it Daytona by zip code because of there's only one post office there.
Daytona, Florida. What's the zip code again?
32117.
Okay. All right. And so the one that you're in now, $400,000, and then the payment on the $400,000 house is what?
Like I'll say $1,650. It's in that ballpark.
Right, but that's not the payment for the buyer. The payment for the buyer would be.
Oh, I mean, as much as possible. I mean, I usually well, you know how that is. You know
Sure.
how desperate is the guy. How much does he like the house? What can I get away with? What can he afford? I mean, in the old days, it'd be 1%. He'd be paying me $4,000 a month. You can't do that anymore.
No.
So basically, what will the market bear? And I'll take whatever I can get.
Okay. Yeah, a $400,000 house would be somewhere between $2,500 and $3,000 normally.
Yeah, and I mean, if I get $3,000, obviously I'm at about $1,300 a month, which is a nice little house payment for what I'm buying.
Yeah, well, plus the Florida house, so you'd have another probably 5 or 6 or 7 there.
Yeah, well, but I got to figure out. Well, of course, whoever's buying it, they're going to pay the taxes on it too. So I guess I can, if they're doing a buy, if they're doing a pure rent, then I'm not going to get dinged on the taxes. Taxes in Florida are about the same as the taxes in us. My house.
Okay, hold on, slow down. You're going to get dinged on taxes for what?
Property tax.
Okay, how do you get dinged on property taxes?
No, I'm saying the property, like here, I got it, my Cornelius house, they're escrowed in that payment. The payment I gave you is including the property tax.
Okay.
The one in Florida, I own outright. I think it's got a couple thousand a year in property tax on it. So when I go to rent it, of course, I still got to pay the property tax because there's no payment.
Well, yeah, obviously, but that gets incorporated into the monthly payment, or we have to have the buyer pay it separately. They're going to have to cover everything. They can't. There can be nothing that you have to pay separate.
Yeah, so I just look at when I say I'm just thinking taxes and insurance in Florida are about $3,000 a year, and my taxes and insurance in Cornelius are about $3,700, which is built into that $1,650.
All right, so the Daytona house is we're worth what, $65,000?
Zillow says 65. I think it's above the neighborhood, but like I said, I've got 100 in it. If I'm just renting it, I guess it doesn't matter. I'll get my money back someday if they don't tear it up.
Yeah, these aren't actually structured as rentals. They're actually structured as what's called a contract for deed or land contract. So you're actually getting buyers, not renters in there. They're going to cover everything. They're going to get insurance. They're going to cover the taxes, the whole 9 yards, and then they have to do the takeout and cash you out within 24 months. What
the best deal I've cut somebody so far from 20,000 cash down, 1,000 a month for 5 years. So, however, that would have came out 60, it would have been 80,000. I would have been selling it for, but there's no interest in there, and they would have been paying their own taxes and insurance.
Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying that's what I've offered so far. That's what I've been offering other people that have been nibbling at, buying it.
Okay.
Buyers, yeah, just nibblers.
Sure, gotcha. All right, I'll have Todd fire out the agreements to you. Like I said, you'll get those via email, and you just click a button and accept them. And then once we have that, we can get the photographs and get this rolling, because I should probably have buyers in the database already that at least the Charlotte house would work for. And then once we get some activity on that, then we obviously need to figure out exactly what you're looking for so we can begin the acquisition process for another house for you.
And let me ask you one of the questions I got. When I bought this thing, I bought it last July. the house in Cornelius.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a Rio property, so I got the deal where if I have to be owner occupied for 1 year, or else they have the right to hit me with a penalty. Now that year is July 16th. If I happen to move early, I mean, does this break that rule, or do I actually have to kind of fumble around with when I move out, things like that?
Well, we just set the occupancy date up for whatever the day is after your contract expires.
Okay, so we find the people and we just try to build it into mid-July and make my move around then and all that.
Yeah,
kind of stuff.
yeah. That way you don't violate any law. There's no bank fraud. There's no issues.
Yeah, because they want $1,000 penalty if I rent it or do anything with it before that date, basically.
Yeah. Well, we don't. Yeah, we just set it for July 16th or whatever the date is, the next day.
Yeah, I think it's something like that. I'd have to confirm it, but I'm pretty sure that was the date. Because this was a Fannie Mae property.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, that's not an issue. That's easy enough to handle.
Okay, well, like I said, I guess you got the addresses and the start. I mean, if you think there's anything to do to flip Birmingham in there, like you guys manage it, or, there's money being made later, it'll help out or something, hey, great. If not, then, hey, I'll just keep that as a little nest egg for the future.
Well, I think what I would be doing on Birmingham is, you have to understand something. Equity is not a good thing, all right? I know you think it is, but it's not. Because what you've got is you have a dead asset. You have money that's 100% at risk. It's money that you can't easily access, and it's generating a negative rate of return, okay? So I'm not a fan, as a professional investor, I'm not a fan of equity. I don't have equity in any property. I never have put money down on any house I've ever purchased, nor would I. And if there was any situation where we had to acquire something and there had to be some type of down payment, number one, I probably wouldn't do the deal to begin with, but if I somehow got roped into it with some other carrot that was out there, then from an asset protection standpoint, we'd go and shield it with another lien somehow to make sure that the property was asset protected. Because what I would do, if it was me, I'm just telling you what I would do, okay? The whole, you can follow along the whole Dave Ramsey, pay everything off in 15-year thing, but all you're doing with each principal payment, you're not helping yourself in any way, shape, or form, okay? You're helping the bank. You're providing them a greater insurance policy in the event that you default and they have to foreclose, because all that equity gets absorbed by them, not by you. So if it was me, what I would do is I would refinance out of Birmingham, stretch the note out to 30 years, because it doesn't matter. She's paying anyway. Get whatever cash out of it you can, or if you can't get a whole lot of cash, at least stretch the note out so you can drop that payment down and cash flow off of it, and make it, actually cash flowing investment.
That's what I wanted to do, but when my credit took the guy to 500, it doesn't make it easy to do anything.
Yeah, that would be correct.
I was close to 100 when I bought the house last year, and just everything that hit just killed me.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it sounds like you negotiated a pretty sweet deal on that one. So, you're just waiting for her. I think the thing that potentially should have happened is there should have been a time frame for her to cash out. But I guess,
based on her situation, she should be cashing out this October, November. It was a deal where she worked for a company her mother owned. She could, they weren't paying her under the table. They had to start paying her over the table before it could be counted. It takes 2 years. They just started in October when she bought the house. It's October 12. So once she has 2 years of paycheck stuff, and things like that, she should be able to get her own loan. And, who knows? She may be buying it out anytime.
That'd be great. Okay. Well, I think that's what you're hoping for right there. And then you get out from underneath it and get out your equity.
She's been right on. Her payments have never been a day, a minute late, and she's been right on with everything. So I'm pretty sure she's going to come through.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Well, Todd's going to get that out to you this afternoon. If you have any questions, let us know. But other than that, we're just waiting on you. We get this thing moving forward, and then as soon as I get that back from you, I'll send you the form to fill out, so you can identify what you want in your new house, and we can begin the acquisition process there as well.
Sounds good. I appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Bye-bye. All right, man.
Thank you, sir. I know you've heard this a million times, but obviously walking through, I'm not going to take too much, but just walking through that whole Birmingham thing, and, you know your stuff, obviously. I'm thrilled. I'm sorry to take up so much. I'm sorry to take too much of your time, but I'm like, wow, he's really talking to you. He was nice to me too, but he even called back. I figured it was pretty hot. So
yeah. What is it? Let me ask you this: what is it you think just transpired?
Well, I know it's just the seller agreements. Hey, I don't have one yet. I know there's there's nothing sold yet, other than getting agreements sent out to him and they're not signed yet. But he was very on board with it all. So
yeah. Yeah, I mean,
I know that's run of the mill for you, but this is probably the closest I'm coming so far.
Okay. Yeah. Hey, listen, jump on it right now, though. Get them right out to him. Okay?
Oh, I'm doing that right now. Absolutely.
And then wear them out this afternoon. Where are they at, man? We're trying to get going here.
Absolutely.
All right.
This could be tomorrow too. I have that one in Kings Mountain with that one property with 3 mobile homes. I mean, I don't know. I know you got whatever works. I just don't know that I can walk through that one. He's got them rented on the property or something.
Uh-huh.
But did you want to do that tomorrow?
Yeah, we can.
Or now's good too. I'm pretty open, but I don't want to assume you're available.
Yeah, I guess my question there is, you're getting into a lot of moving parts because there's people in these things. He's cash flowing off of it, or he's breaking even on the whole mortgage.
Correct.
We got payments on the mobile homes as well, and the buyer that comes in basically has to buy the entire whole
Correct.
thing. I don't know that we want to,
Yeah, it seemed. Yeah, I wanted to. I crossed my mind too, so I wasn't sure if it was worthwhile or not.
Well, I mean,
but I can.
A lot of money that can be made off mobile homes. I just don't know why we would go after a property with mobile homes on it right now.
Yeah, right.
Is he under duress? I mean, is he looking for an out? What is his deal?
I honestly don't know. Maybe I'll have another conversation with him.
Well, what is he trying to do? Just trying to rent the main house?
He's basically just they're cash flowing property right now, but he's just trying to sell off is what he wants to do. He just wants to be done with it. But I'm not sure if he's interested or not. I should know that, but I don't.
How much equity is there?
Yeah, I am pretty much of a novice. I don't know.
Okay.
But I can
just set up a time for tomorrow. We'll call him, okay?
Do you want me to call him to get some information or just to have another conversation with him?
No, just find out when he's available tomorrow. We'll call him.
All right. Okay, Vincent.
Okay. All right.
Thank you, sir.
My pleasure.
Okay. All right. Bye-bye. Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Virtual Real Estate Investor Podcast with Vincent Polisi. If you found any value in this podcast, please use our Give to Get method and take a moment to give us a 5-star rating in iTunes and your favorite podcast service so we can keep giving you excellent episodes of real content you can use to profit today.